You've reached Lesko Free Radio. And in the next 60 minutes, I'm going to tell you more about getting free money and help to do what you want in life than you've learned in the last 365 days. That's right, 1 hour, I'll show you a year's worth of knowledge because I've been studying this for 35 years. Now, today, I have some great, like 5 great episodes you're going to learn about. One is how to take your little business and get customers overseas because the government has a new grant program to help you. They'll find you the customers. They'll send you on the airplane, pay your airfare to go out and meet the customers. They'll even translate your website into another language. All this is for free. And we're going to interview one of the bureaucrats that really hand out this money so you'll get it right from the horse's mouth. Okay, next we have to tell you about 40 billion, B with a B, billion, of unclaimed gift card money that's sitting in state capitals. It's there. 1 out of 10 people in this country have money sitting in these state capitals. We talked to a government official who hands out this money. So watch that. You're going to know about it now, and you're going to get money probably within a few hours, like he did. This government official even uses it. Okay. Also, we're going to talk to a superhero out there. A superhero to me is someone who uses free money that you could find on the web to help somebody else. And this woman, her baby died. Her baby was born and couldn't smile, couldn't eat, trouble breathing. The baby needs an operation. The insurance company won't pay for it all. She has to raise $100,000 on the web, and that's where she found the money on the web. So to me, that's a superhero in life. Also, there's a new web service I wanted to tell you about. Small businesses looking for money. See, 75% of the small businesses that need money aren't getting it from the normal banks. So this is a non-traditional source, a new program now that's set up to get money from the crowd, like from your family, friends, or whatever, and even investors, even brokers, even special governments, local governments, nonprofit organizations have money here to lend to small businesses. And this is a wonderful thing because they even give you a grant to fill out the application. It's not an application to get a grant. You get a grant if you have a great idea, and then they help you step by step get the money you need to grow. And that's a fantastic new idea you have to know about because this is the way the world is going. Then plus, I got to show you this retired guy, man. He found $2,000 on the web for his golf idea. He's a retired guy, plays a lot of golf, has this little invention, and he got $2,000 to do that. Boy, that keeps him out of his wife's hair, I'm sure. So learn how you can do that, or do something with your idea. It's all here, and just so stay tuned. We got these 5 segments. Don't miss any of them because you're watching Lesko Free Radio. Great stuff. Now, wouldn't you love to have the government give you free money grants so you could grow your business and get a whole bunch of new customers? Well, you can. That's right. Actually, this administration has set up a new program that gives grants to small businesses so they can grow their business. And it's really to grow their business overseas because that's what it's all about nowadays. It's not only selling to America, it's selling to the rest of the world like China. It sells to us. Now we got to sell it to everybody else too because that's how you grow. That's how China grows, and that's how we have to grow. Now, when you say small business, a lot of people think, oh, what's a small business? Well, look at this data. Yeah, look at a small business using these programs. Really, look at almost 40% of the businesses are making less than $100,000. So this is like maybe you on your kitchen table, like I am, and just a real small business. They can help you, So it's not really, size does not matter. This is another place where it doesn't matter. And look at the reasons why people do this. Okay, businesses, look at the number one reason is to increase sales and profits. Man, that's the reason you do almost anything in business. So this will do it for you. And also diversify your business. So if the economy is yucky here in the United States, well, you're living, part of your business overseas too. So you don't care about it. And the world is so small with the web. And there's help available for you. Okay, and also look at this. how many more businesses are growing into the export businesses. Now it's up to 64%. So, that's almost 2/3 of all the businesses, and it's grown so much just from, 2-3 years ago. So that's why you gotta jump onto this too, because if you don't, man, the world is gonna pass you by. And you don't want to be the last one at the station when that train goes, leaving without you. Now, I did an interview with one of the people. See, this is a federal money, but it's given to state governments, to help their business. And this is the woman, a great lady I interview, who runs the program in North Carolina. So watch this. This is going to tell you all you need to know about this program. And you'll get excited because that's really free money. And finally, okay, and your name again?
My name is Jean Davis. I'm the Director of International Trade in North Carolina.
Wow. And what does that mean, Jean?
So basically, our job is to help small and medium-sized companies expand their sales of products and services into global markets around the world.
Really? So whether product or service, you help them get money from overseas clients?
That's right. Yep. During this tough economy, most of our small businesses have done really well by increasing their international sales. And oftentimes it's not easy for small companies to get started. And that's where we help them with services and with grants.
Really? Grants? That magic word, man? The Groucho Marx, say the magic word, win $100. You're not old enough to remember that. No kidding. So how do you help? So if I'm a small business in North Carolina, and yet there's similar services, right, around the country?
Yes, most states have export assistance that they give to small businesses, correct.
So if I'm sitting there, hey, my market, I want to get on the action of the world, what do they do? What do they do
Absolutely.
first?
So I have a whole staff here in North Carolina that travels out every day, meets with companies in their industry sectors, and has specific...
You go out and meet with people?
We do. We drive out and meet you at your client site so we can understand what your product is or what your service is and what you're trying to do. And then we help with lots of things like market research. So should I be selling to Brazil or should I be selling to China?
Wow, no kidding.
Should I hire a distributor or should I hire a sales agent? What do free trade agreements mean for me? So does the free trade agreement that we have with Colombia and Panama now help me with getting my product into that market?
Wow, no kidding. So you eliminate all the mystery. And these people, I'm sure there's consultants out there with fancy degrees charging a lot of money for this.
There are, and we have a really great network of lawyers and accountants and other resource people that are there to help our companies, but we kind of bring the resources together, and all of us came from a business background. So in my case, I was in the pharmaceutical industry. I had a company that expanded all around the world using the government services. And so we all have an industry background where we can really help our clients to expand those markets.
So you had a business that really used services like you're providing to help your clients make money overseas.
That's right. So I called the North Carolina Department of Commerce, said I'm a small 80-person company trying to get more work overseas. I said, what can you do for me? And they took me on a governor's trade mission. They helped me open an office in Singapore. They helped me make the contacts. They helped me understand all the regulatory requirements, and we were very successful overseas.
And what did they charge you?
They charge me nothing.
Oh,
taxpayer dollars are in place for these programs to help North Carolina companies, because when companies expand overseas, that means they're growing jobs and business right here at home.
No, the same way. That's how China growing selling overseas, right? So we got to learn that game again.
That's right. Yep.
And I just saw the figures. I think came out today that they're still increasing our exports. Yeah.
Absolutely,
so you guys are doing a great job.
That's what we say. That's right. Yep. During this tough, kind of slow U.S. economy, our small companies that are selling overseas have added jobs and are constantly growing because of those overseas sales.
Right. So that's where their growth is coming from in North Carolina.
Absolutely.
Because of you helping folks sell overseas.
We're doing our best.
Well, that's right. Now I talk you to run for governor. Well, no. So you mentioned grants. What kind of grants is it? What do they do?
So right now we have a fantastic program through the SBA.
Well, you sound like an infomercial here, right?
I know. Through the SBA, and it's called the STEP grant, which stands for State Trade and Export Promotion. And so it is a program for qualified small business that does all kinds of great stuff. So for example, say you're a company trying to sell your product in China. We can translate all your website, your marketing material into Chinese, so you're ready to get into that market.
Wow. No kidding. Wow, that's terrific.
That's if you're someone that wants to learn about new markets, we're running a whole bunch of export education, like Export University and Export Eye Openers. You can come along to a free training, get trade leads from whatever market you're interested in, and understand how to go to market in those foreign places. Then we have gold key services. So say you decided, I want to go to Brazil, I want to investigate finding a distributor down there. We have money for travel grants. So that is a travel grant that pays for your airfare and your hotel to go to a trade show or a event or a client meeting to help get you into that market.
Wow. God, why doesn't everybody know about this?
It's the truth. And when you think about it, for many of our small companies, I know a plane trip to Brazil might be $2,000. The hotel might be another $1,000. So $3,000 that we can give you a grant. Absolutely. You're down there. You're in the market. We have an office there. And so, for free of charge, our consultant down there is picking you up at your hotel, taking you to client meetings, taking you to a trade show.
Wow.
I mean, it's consulting services for free.
Wow, so it's not only airfare, man. You get everything but a nanny.
It's the truth.
That's just incredible. Wow, no wonder we're increasing exports if we're doing stuff like that.
It's true. Well, in North Carolina, we've increased our exports for the past 5 years, $2 billion every year.
$2 billion every year?
Yes.
God, I mean, that sounds like a lot more than what the whole country's doing to me.
We're pretty excited. And I mean, these are small companies that are finding opportunities and finding success. So if they can do it, anybody can do it.
Wow. And so people have never done it before, don't even know how to spell overseas. They can come to your office and you walk them through. God. And so, like, when you go to another country, like for clients, you got a place to hang your hat and somebody to help you, huh?
That is exactly right. We have physical offices, so you can take meetings with your clients in our offices.
I'll meet you at the embassy, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's a fantastic service. And I think that one of our problems in government is we are the worst marketers, and we're some of the best kept secrets.
Yeah, I believe. Well, I mean, I used to do this stuff, help Fortune 500 clients find this stuff, you know, and that's why I said, they're going to get it with or without me. It's these little guys who don't know.
That's exactly right.
They could play on the same field as these Fortune 500. Yeah.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
Yep. When you think about somewhere like China, you know, everybody feels a little sometimes uneasy with China. And yes, there are big challenges in China, but there are enormous opportunities in China. And so in the past 10 years, North Carolina exports to China have grown almost 500%.
500%?
And that's what I'm saying is that you know, if for companies that aren't afraid, there are opportunities and you can be successful. And so that's the message. Yeah.
Wow. I'm studying Chinese now, actually.
Great. Yeah.
I call it my Alzheimer's prevention program. But I'm getting a grant from the Chinese government.
Good.
They have Confucius Institutes around the country.
We have 2 in North Carolina, absolutely.
Yeah, you have them there too. Yeah. And actually they have a little course actually for people who want to do business there too.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it's great stuff.
Yeah, no, but you, I mean, to help people understand the system, and you have an office in that country, you get travel money to go over there, you know, marketing help to figure out what the hell to sell where.
Right, yeah. And let me tell you, I'm always amazed. So when I had my company and I called up the North Carolina trade rep in Hong Kong and told him what it was that I did and who I wanted to see, when I arrived in Hong Kong and he picked me up at the hotel, he had a full agenda of meetings set up with just the exact kind of people that I wanted to meet. I was amazed. I mean, really.
That's phenomenal. I mean, could you imagine sitting here, hey, I wonder who in China could, you know, buy my stuff. So you're calling somebody there, you know, the government office, hey, who could buy my stuff? And they line up a half a dozen meetings for you and you land off the plane. And where the hell are you going to get that? No consultant in the United States could do that.
It's the truth, absolutely.
I mean, it seems to me that the embassy and having the United States government call for an appointment for you is a hell of a lot better than having some huckster.
It's so true. Well, I mean, this is the point: is that Chinese have a lot of reverence for government people, and you know, there's no such thing as cold calling in China. And so my rep that's been with North Carolina for 25 years. Is well known and has all the contacts.
Wow, he's longer there than the chairman.
Yeah, there you go. You got it.
Well, you're a delight. I'm so glad you're working for the government and helping businesses make more money in America. We got to learn this game.
Well, remember, every state has a program like this. 48, I think 49 states and territories got this STEP grant, so it's available.
Everybody's got the grant.
Yes.
So they just go like their Office of Economic Development in the state capitol and they'll know, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for struggling to make sure we connected. It's awfully nice. No problem.
Thanks again.
Let me know if I could help. Thank you.
Okay, thanks again. Bye-bye.
Now, isn't she terrific? And you thought people work for the government were old stuffy bureaucrats. No, man, they're working on important problems, like she is, and she's there to help you. And she did it herself, too. I mean, she made, who knows how many gazillions, when she was in private business selling her stuff overseas. So that's why, take advantage of this. And you see, I mean, they get customers for you. They make arrangements. They give you an airfare to go over to some country, and then Hollingsworth from the embassy will get you appointments over there. And people will buy your stuff or investigate distributors for you. Man, where else are you going to do that? You're going to go on the web and get some huckster who's going to charge you $50,000 or who knows what they're going to charge you to do the same kind of thing. See, you could start growing for free. And the help is there. You just have to know where to use it. So start using it. See, all you have to do is you go to your state capital, okay? And, but actually, if you Google the Economic Development Office for your state. So if you're from Pennsylvania, just put Pennsylvania Economic Development. Or international trade, it'll come up. And if you get stuck, just call your congressman. Call your congressman. They'll find it for you. That's what they're there for. Because if they get you 20 grand to fly overseas or do whatever, or a couple grand just for the airfare, man, you'll vote for that son of a gun no matter what they do. So use this stuff, please. Oh, I forgot. Remember, at least you can get your website translated into a different language. Wow. Do you know somebody who's retired and sitting around the house and doesn't know what to do with their life? Well, I want to show you a video now of a fellow named Dino Capadia. He was one of those guys like that, sitting around the house, didn't know what to do. What he did is took his passion for golf. He's a golfer, probably a mediocre golfer, but loves it. And he invented a new golf club, just tinkering around. So then he went on the internet and raised like $2,000 to get his product out there. So here's the guy sitting around the house, learned how to use the internet. So he's not some young kid. You think everybody on the internet making money is under 30? No! It's people, 50, 60, 70 years old or more. So watch this video. He's a cute guy, wonderful, and you'll enjoy it and see how he used the internet to take his idea and make some money from it. Well, Dino Capadia. Now you got one of the neatest golfing tools I've ever seen in my life. It's the drutter?
It's a drutter.
Really?
A combination of a driver to send the golf ball forward.
Uh-huh.
And a putter.
And a putter. Now you have one behind you. Can you show people what that is?
Sure. See, here is the drutter. Now, you put your golf ball. I've got a Nerf ball, so even if it escapes, it won't hurt anything. But you put it in here like this.
Yeah.
You pull it way back, and let go.
And that's your shot, huh? And my guess is that it goes straight, huh?
There are no hooks, no slices. You would very rarely, unless you pointed at a hazard, you should not get into a hazard.
Wow.
So now we can go over 100 yards.
Wow, just like that.
Just like that, over 100 yards with a golf ball. Now, so you've taken one or two shots, one from the tee box, one maybe from the fairway.
Right. And
when you get to the green, guess what is there at the end of the drutter?
Oh, it's the putter part, huh?
Putter head. See it?
Nice. That's
See?
great. So you just walk around with that contraption? You don't have to carry a bag?
You don't have to carry a bag. You don't have to have 7 different irons.
Right. But mostly you could have an enjoyable afternoon because
That's exactly right. Now, here's a small detail. When you want the maximum distance,
Uh-huh.
you hold your elastic, the power
Yeah.
band, at 45 degrees to the ground.
I see.
That's when you get the maximum flight.
Ah.
If you want to go to a shorter distance, you point it like so.
Ah,
See?
I
So the
see.
ball will plop down.
Ah, I see. So a little flop shot.
Flop shot. And if you want a bump and run, then you go more straight.
I
So it'll
Well, you're gonna
go forward.
you're gonna have to have a video to learn how to teach people the tricks of getting good at
Now
this.
here's the thing. The gentleman who helped me put the video together,
Uh-huh.
he's 6'3",
Ah,
and his wife is 5'3".
wow.
So he wanted a drutter where this thing would be pretty, like almost horizontal, so it can pull it a long
Yeah.
ways back. And his wife said, "But wait, I won't even be able to pull it
Yes.
because you got a lot of muscular strength."
Uh-huh.
So that is why I had come up with this design, where you see this. What it is that this elastic band.
Ah.
It goes back and through like a shoelace.
Ah, so you could put it at different levels, huh?
Exactly correct.
Ah.
She can have it so she can pull it longer, and he can thread it in such a way that it's shorter.
Ah, wonderful. So there's your 14 clubs.
And here is a golf ball picker-upper.
Oh, so when you can pick it up that way too, so you don't have to bend down. Well, that's really just good for us old farts, isn't it?
See, that's because of my bad back.
I see.
You can even pick it up right from the from the hole.
Hole.
You
It
put
goes
this
into the
into the
whole thing.
hole, pull it
Oh,
up.
that's terrific. So, I mean, what fascinates me about it more than anything is that, I mean, sometimes, golf is a frustrating game. We all who played it know that. But I love being out in the country and being out, in that beautiful part where the golf course is.
That is why the game that I've invented that goes along with the drutter
Uh-huh.
is called walk-off.
Walk golf.
Walk-off. You
Walk.
eliminate the G. Walk-off.
Oh, walk off.
Walk-off. And here's what the deal is about walk-off.
Uh-huh.
The whole aim of walk-off is fun.
Ah, it's about time.
No three putting.
I, So
Yeah.
what did you know about Kickstarter before you did this thing? Or
Yes,
you
I did actually.
You did.
A couple years ago, 2-3 years ago, the daughter of a friend of mine
Mm-hmm.
had a project called Window Farms. Window farms, meaning people live in high rises
Yeah.
and they
I
can
see. Right.
they can grow stuff. So you needed a pump set up and so on and so
Right,
forth. So
right.
they came up with kits
Mm-hmm.
for window farms, and I contributed to it, so I knew about balloons. So
Right. Yeah, well, that's terrific. Well, you're a delight to talk with, and it's so nice that, even though you're a retired man, you're out there creating new stuff for the rest of us, to have fun with in life and to show others that you're still having fun in life, right?
I'm having fun.
Yeah. Well, keep having fun, Dino, and thanks for helping the rest of us, okay?
Sure enough. Take care.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
See, why don't you do something like that? You can just go to Kickstarter like he did. Here's his webpage that he set up, just a little video. He did it all himself. You can do it yourself. Follow the instructions, or other crowdfunding sites. So crowdfunding, crowdsourcing, or whatever. Just Google that and you'll find a lot of sites like that that could help you. And if you need management help for some reason, you don't know really what you're doing, or you're afraid of it, there's free help available to do that too. There are business development centers all around the country. Go to this page here. ASDBC-us.org. There, just put in your zip code and they'll show you free sources right in your neighborhood. We'll help you do that for free. Don't go on there and pay some money. See, Kickstarter's for free. These people are for free. And then you wind up getting $2,000 for your idea. And the $2,000 comes for free too. Did you know there's over $33 billion, that's a B, billion, sitting in state governments waiting for you to call because it's your money. This is missing money that Americans, don't even know that's available. That's an average of like, $1,200 a piece. Actually, my wife went to just one website and she got $1,700 for her mother. That was just sitting there. See, all you have to do is go to one website and you find it all and they send it to you. Now, another neat thing is gift cards. There's over $40 billion in unused gift cards just sitting out there, right? And it's usually sitting in the state capitals, and they're usually like the Secretary of State or someone like that is in charge of it, and it's just waiting for people to call. And there's companies out there who will charge you money to find it, but you don't have to do that. You can do it yourself, and I'll show you. Listen, I did an interview with one of the Secretaries of State in Pennsylvania, Rob McCord, cool guy. Listen to what he says about this missing money. Don't miss out.
And it's very, very important for the average person watching. If they're just clicking saying,
Right.
I check out Lesko.com because they give me ideas about where to find money. If they're going to listen to nothing else, they should just check out, if it's across the country, missingmoney.com.
Oh, okay.
They happen to be Pennsylvania residents, in addition to remembering the name McCord.
Right.
They ought to also check out patreasury.gov.
So patreasury.gov is
Our website,
Site with
and you
has
can
a
search,
search.
and it's very easy to use. And we have all kinds of people who will help, and we have very high customer satisfaction.
So what's in there now? Explain how money gets
So
there.
so it's any kind of sort of abandoned property, and you abandon property without knowing you're doing it. We were talking before the camera turned on about how most of us who have any kind of government backing of our mortgages,
Right.
And usually mortgages get government backing in order to be tradable.
Right.
And so these large mortgage providers want you to
Right.
have it. So they then want you to have a certain amount of equity in the home, but they also want you to have certain types of insurance. Sometimes you build up a property value in that insurance. You sell the house, you forget you
Right.
have that value. The mailing maybe goes to your old address. You're never
Right.
found. That would be an example. An escrow account that you set aside and forget to close down. A last paycheck. A lot of us
I
have
see.
multiple jobs before we get our long-term job. We're moving around. A security deposit.
I mean,
A
like
gift
apartments
card
or something?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, wow,
Apartments. A gift card.
Gift cards
Gift
too?
cards go
All the
on
gift
you. So we have
cards?
$8.6 million of unclaimed property in Pennsylvania just flowing from gift cards.
So like a Sears gift card
Yeah,
might be in there?
exactly.
Wow.
So first of all, from the consumer point of view, purely for looking for their money and
Yeah.
us reuniting their money with them. There's a great national association of unclaimed property
Right.
administrators, and they've set up missingmoney.com.
That's the website
which is
for all the
fee-free,
states.
right?
Yeah,
which is
okay.
fee-free.
Right.
You check for the whole country and say, "Gee, do I happen to have any?" And what I'm amazed by, I didn't do this at all until I started running for treasurer. Pretty much every year, I find some more unclaimed property in Pennsylvania.
for yourself?
For myself.
No kidding.
And in Pennsylvania, I give more away to
Right,
charity
I see,
than I
right,
collect, but meaning of my own personal
Right.
assets. But it's a very interesting process. We estimate about 1 in 10 Pennsylvanians has unclaimed property. The average claim is
Wow, 1 in 10.
$1,200.
The average claim is $1,200
in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
And so it's not just
1 in
50
10
to-
Pennsylvanians could get an average of about $1,200.
Well, the
Theoretically.
average claim that's made, because a lot of
Right.
people might check and go, well, it doesn't look
Oh,
like
I
I have
see.
much, and they might
Gotcha.
not bother
Right.
to do the claim.
Right.
And we have to check that there's no fraud. It's not like you just call up and say,
Right.
trust me, I'm
Hey,
Matthew Lesko. Don't you like my voice? Send the check to the following P.O. box. So there's a certain process you go through, but we have worked hard to reduce the length of time, have cut that more in half since we came into office.
And how
Treasurer.
big is that fund now?
It's just short of $2 billion.
$2 billion.
And then this is the other thing for anybody watching who's a little bit of a public policy
And that's just
nerd.
Pennsylvania. Not
That's
all
just
over.
Pennsylvania.
Right,
It's about
right.
33 billion, I believe. for the
33
nation
billion.
as a
Wow.
whole. So there's $33 billion out there, about half of which is still claimable. Like a lot of times you have unclaimed property that's both unclaimed and undeliverable. Like you literally can't make out the names, or they
I
don't.
see.
But usually, if somebody is deceased, they have proper heirs and so forth.
Yeah.
So it's a process that has been significantly made easier by public entities that are out there. So for free for an American citizen, they are able to do these searches. The way it works is somebody has unclaimed property. Maybe a bank has an unclosed account or whatever. After a certain number of years, 3, 4, 5 years, they're legally obligated to turn that money into the states nationally. This is the national law. Because I owned so many companies coming out of private equity, I thought, gee, I didn't know about this law. I wonder what percentage of business leaders and business owners know about this law. We did actual consumer research and tested business leaders. We found 92% of business leaders didn't know of the existence of this law. So we've driven up the supply of returns, the capital being through voluntary compliance, just by alerting people that, you know, unbeknownst to you, you're probably not in compliance with this.
I mean, I see.
So they take, sometimes it's money that they're using. Often it's just goods that they're leaving, you know, so to speak, and they're lost and found.
I see. So instead of keeping it in their, you know, basement, they're giving it to you.
Exactly. They give it to us. We process it. We the first of its kind continuous online auction. So unless it's a very scarce good, we auction it off on eBay. Correct? Yeah. And
eBay, it's all over.
So you can find all these things on eBay, but in addition, the property then has a cash value, a surrender value. About half the time, people never claim that property. So you can model for about half of all the property you're collecting turns into positive revenue without the distortions that are created either by tax signals or by any kind of debt.
How long are you able to keep it?
In Pennsylvania, it's in perpetuity that they are owed it. So there's never the injustice of saying, well, if I just showed up 6 months earlier, this would have been my money. Now, some states are what they call escheat states, and those states say after 10 years, if we've had it for 10 years and you haven't claimed it, it's ours now.
Okay, so now you got the facts. Well, here's some more facts about that gift card money. This is real money, and it's growing all the time. You know, here out in Colorado, they're talking about even changing the rules on it. Yeah, so they can keep more of it and not give it back to you. So watch this video.
A pretty simple bill, House Bill 1102, that Representative Giroux asked me to take here in the Senate that passed the House. It's designed really to just lift a burden off of small business. And what the bill says is that if as a small business you do less than $200,000 a year in sales of gift cards gross, that you wouldn't have to, after the appropriate 5-year period, give the proceeds of any unused gift cards over to the state unclaimed property fund. And that's pretty important from a couple of levels. One, it's a big headache for a lot of these businesses. Many of them don't even know that it's required, so a lot of them aren't complying with the law because they just don't know that the law exists. Two, as an individual, if you're the one who hadn't used that gift card and then you found it in the bottom of a drawer, after the 5-year period had expired, the business would be in the position of making you go to the state treasurer's office to claim your money, as opposed to just being able to reissue the card or take the card from you at that small business. So that's what the bill does, and I think we have a couple of folks here who understand it a lot better than me, but I'd be happy to try to answer any questions if you have some for me.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? Now you know. Okay, so just go to this website, missingmoney.com. Start there. Don't pay money to anybody who said, oh, they'll find this money for it. No, you can do it yourself. It's public information. So cut out the middleman. Go to yourself. Go to missingmoney.com and get the missing money you have. But actually, you know what to do? Is look for all your friends. Actually, a researcher of mine, she went through and put everybody's name in there and then found the money they have and wrapped them up as Christmas presents. So at Christmas time, she said, well, here's $500 for you. Here's $1,600 for you. Here's $150 for you. And showed them where they could get that money. So that's it. Help your family. Help your friends. Help everybody. And don't let the government just sit on that money. Get it back. Hey, I got my superhero cape on. The reason I have it on because the next woman I want you to meet is a superhero in my mind. Her baby was born where it couldn't even breathe, eat, or even smile. and that's her new baby. Now, she had the resilience to go on the internet and figure out how to raise $100,000 for her new baby's operation. Now, that's something I think we all can learn from. Her name is Sarah Tassi. Watch this. We could learn how to help people with problems like that by using the internet, and learn how to be resilient like she is in solving a problem when bad things happen to you. So Sarah Tassi, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, great. Now you're, I found you on Give Forward, and you're raising, gosh, $100,000 for your child who has this terrible condition. I've never even heard until I found you. And my heart goes out to you, but my admiration goes out to you for doing something so positive like this, and taking charge and trying to solve the problem. So when did this all start?
Well, we had Preston last May 18th, 2012.
Oh,
And so, yeah, he just celebrated his first birthday. And about day 2, they knew something, right away, after we had him. Something was up. His breathing was a little shallow, and his eyes were wide open.
wow.
And the obvious thing was his right hand only has a thumb. The other hand is totally normal.
Okay, wait a minute. So his right hand he was born with just a thumb on the right hand?
Yeah, yep.
Wow.
And never saw that in ultrasound, so had no idea about anything.
No idea. Huh.
And they, his breathing finally kind of came around, and he was fine with that. They noticed some other things that they didn't really tell us right away.
Yeah.
A high palate. On one side of his tongue, it's a lot thinner than the other.
Wow.
And after they talked to other doctors and our pediatrician, they came to the conclusion that it might be Moebius, because all of those characteristics are part of Moebius.
I see. So, and that's what he has, Moebius syndrome?
Yeah, Moebius syndrome. Yep.
And that's a very rare disease?
Yeah, from what I have read, there's, I think it was a few years ago, the total in the world was like 12,000 cases.
Wow, that's nothing, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, they say 2 in a million, but when you put it to 12,000 in the world, it sounds a little bit more shocking.
At least they knew what it was, then.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of drew our pediatrician's name out of a hat. I saw her online, saw her picture, I thought, oh, she looks nice.
Well, that's a way to choose a doctor.
Yeah. We lived in Ankeny, Iowa at the time, and so she was our,
what was the name of it?
Ankeny.
Ankeny. Never.
Yeah, and it's she was our closest local pediatrician.
Don't have as many options there, huh?
Yeah. And, come to find out, she has actually dealt with a couple kids with Moebius, because she used to be a hospitalist at Blank Children's in Des Moines.
Nice.
So if that wasn't God's working, I don't know what was.
I see. Well, whoever it is, it's great that you had somebody knowledgeable. And then you could go for months and maybe not know.
Oh, yeah. And that's what years and years ago, when people with Moebius were born, they didn't know what it was.
So he cannot smile or do anything with facial expressions, right?
Right. Basically, Moebius is it can affect any cranial nerve. The typical nerves that it affects are 6 and 7, and 6 is the facial muscles, and from eyes down.
So he can't blink either, huh?
No.
So how does he lubricate the eyes?
We keep drops in him periodically through the day. More so if he goes outside.
Yeah.
But he does blink. It's very, very rare.
I see. It's his kind of blink.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny. My husband and I joke, it's almost like a shark blink.
Oh.
His eyes roll back in his head, but you can see him roll back.
I see. So he's not blinking, he's just rolling the eyes back.
Exactly.
Get a little lubricant.
If he sleeps, he does close his eyes. So that's a very great thing, because there are some kids that can't.
So now there's a procedure when he's 5 years old that may help. Is that it?
Yeah. It's called a reanimation smile.
A reanimation smile. Sounds like something Disney's going to
Sorry, a reanimation surgery.
surgery. Okay, right. Uh-huh.
And smile surgery is what,
Yeah.
kind of layman's terms.
And so you're raising the $100,000 for that.
Yeah, yep.
Is that just extra expenses that are not covered by health insurance or what?
To be honest, it was just a general number we kind of came up with.
Yeah.
We don't know what insurance will cover because we're not at 5 years old yet.
Ah, I see.
Insurance will change.
Knows what's going to happen, right?
Yeah, so our thought is we'll have some cost, I'm sure.
Oh, you're in the healthcare system, you gotta.
Have just crazy good insurance.
And you know if it's going to be a special procedure, it's going to be big.
Yeah, so we'll use the money for whatever costs are there, and if for some miraculous reason it is covered, our decision was to then give it on to an organization
I
like
see. That helps for it. So it'd be a donation to the foundation.
Yeah.
Moebius Syndrome, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, now how did you find Give Forward? How did that come up on your radar?
I think I Googled it.
Really? I mean, did you Google Give Forward or just Google?
No, I just Googled, to be honest, I just started searching everything from, Moebius Syndrome to donations, and just the more and more research I did, I kind of fell upon this giveforward.com and started.
What was the other one?
Oh, giveforward.com.
Oh, giveforward.com, yeah.
Yeah, and just didn't really look elsewhere, just started the page there, and I started a website. I kind of have back in high school, first year of college, I was a graphic design major. So I drew up the logo, and I had my friend who has the computer and everything to do it, and she actually got the logo.
Oh, cool. So did you put it on the website yourself and everything?
Yeah. Weebly.com
Yeah.
is a website kind of engine that you can pay for. It's free too, but you can just create your own website, and so I did that. And
okay, that's for the website. So that's for the and your website name. Oh, I see the ambulance there coming. Right. But that's for the website for you, but not for. How about the web page for Give Forward?
Yeah. Basically, it's smilesforpreston.com is ours, and there's a link on the website
to your
Give
site.
Forward.
So in your site, Weebly didn't cost you anything to set up either?
Initially, no. I went ahead and added the extra things.
Right, I see. Right. The platinum level.
We were getting, I figured I better make it look a little nicer.
But the one on Give Forward looks wonderful. So you just go to giveforward.com and you search for Smiles for Preston, right? And you'll there. And you could donate anything, right? To help you guys along through this tough times. And well, how is without the surgery, without correction? I mean, what is the downside of this?
Downside for Preston, it's different for every individual. But for Preston, since he's not able to move those muscles in his face like we are, speaking will be harder. It'll be hard enough because of his tongue and the high palate. But without being able to move those muscles, it'll be hard to understand him. And eating and drinking is definitely an issue. He's been doing really well lately with the bottle. We still actually give him a bottle because he can actually form a little bit of a suction on that.
I see.
But sippy cups, regular cups, he can't hold.
Can he breastfeed?
Yeah. So
can he breastfeed?
What's that?
Can he breastfeed?
Oh, no, he never was able to.
No kidding.
I think as he gets older, those muscles are
maybe.
If it's I guess maybe getting stronger. If that's even I'm not really sure on that. But, but it is getting better for him.
You got a stack of problems. I'm sure you got a stack of problems you never knew anything about.
Yeah.
Oh well, it's just. I mean, you're an inspiration, I think, to the rest of us. having, the attitude you do when such a crisis hits you. I mean, most of us, I think, aren't as resilient as you. And so, I feel what you're doing is educating others on, when bad things happen in their life. And that's just as important, I think, as helping Preston.
Yeah.
And,
Well, and instead of being, reactive in a bad way, be proactive is,
How is your husband? Is he different in his reaction than you?
At first he was a little bit guarded on it. I don't think he really knew what to think as far as the surgery, as far as us doing this fundraising, because he didn't want me to be upset if it didn't go anywhere.
I mean, the fundraising or what?
Yeah, and
I mean, the worst that happened is nothing,
oh yeah. And,
You got nothing to lose. You're not investing anything but some time, and you're learning about it.
Here in town, we actually had a benefit.
Great! How much did that raise for you?
We raised about $8,000.
Wow! Right,
Yeah.
so that's on top of the 14 you already have here, huh?
Yeah.
You're on your way.
Yeah, and just,
You're going to be a professional fundraiser after this.
No, my mom told me I think you need to go into another work area.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, maybe we could get some people to help you out here. So it's giveforward.com, right?
Yep.
And you go to Smiles for Preston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, awfully nice of you to share this with us, Sarah.
Yes. Well, thank you to inviting
to
me.
you, and you're a hero, and thank you for showing the rest of us how we should live.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Take care. See what I tell you? I mean, we need more heroes in life like this. We need more Sarahs, more people who use the tools in our modern society to solve the problems at hand. They can be solvable. She's not a rich lady. She doesn't have any special things that the rest of us probably don't have either. She just went out and do it. So you find a problem. You find it, whether it's yourself, to help somebody else. Look at how you can do it. She did it. Why don't the rest of us do that? Did you know that 75% of small businesses today that need money can't get it from traditional banks? Well, you could kiss the banks goodbye. Because in the internet age, there's all kinds of new opportunities coming up for you to get money for a small business, whether you're starting a business or growing a business. And here's one that I just found out about a few days ago because it just started. It's called SoMoLend. Now, we're going to have a video of the interview, so hold on. But here it is in a nutshell, what they do. Okay, it's low-interest small business loan money that you get from family and friends, investors, government offices, and financial institutions even. Okay. Now, the website helps you write a loan proposal, and they even award grants like to the best proposals from like $1,000 to $5,000. So just filling out an application, it doesn't cost you money. You may even get money just for the application. Okay. Now, what's also interesting is that if you get like half the money you need from family and friends and things like that, then the investors and banks will lend you the rest, And actually, each person lends you at a different rate, so you negotiate all rates. But see, because you got different rates from different people, say, hey, I'll lend you the money at this point, but no, not at this, and the other person will get all these kind of different arrangements you can make, and then the website, SoMoLoan, will organize it all for you. So you just pay one payment to all these people and paying off the money. Now, SoMoLend is interesting too because they actually received a $40,000 grant themselves from the Cincinnati Development Office. And then they raised $2.2 million from their own website. So it's something to check out. Know about it because, man, the world is changing out there. Traditional financial institutions and things like this, if you're an entrepreneur, you got to learn this new stuff. So watch this. And you're Candace Klein, right? The founder of SoMoLend.com. I'm not sure what it is, but it sounds like it's helpful as hell for small business. So what do you guys do?
Well, thanks for having me. SOMOLEND stands for Social Mobile Local Lending, and we are a website that lets small business owners raise low-interest loans from their friends, family, customers, neighbors, and banks all at one time. And in doing so, make one monthly payment, and we manage all those people for them.
So you're going to get rid of all the financial service industry? That's great. They've screwed up our world enough.
They're just not lending. The banks haven't been lending to the smallest of small businesses. With more than 15 employees, 75% of them that need money can't get it. And that's 20 million small businesses in the United States.
So for a small business struggling financially, you're a place to turn for money, but it's not institutionalized in the financial industry. It's really coming from friends and customers and stuff like that. And you're a platform that manages the middleman stuff?
So we don't just help you manage your friends and family, which is the first piece of it. So when you come to our platform, if you're a small business owner, you fill out an application, we help you tell your story, and we help you with a campaign to raise money from your friends and family. The cool part, though, is that we do have 50 institutional lenders, including
so you're in with these people. They got money, huh?
Family offices, hedge funds, banks, community banks, credit unions, and even cities. And so what they've said is, you know what, these people, they might be difficult for us to lend to, but if they can raise 50% of their request from their friends and family, we'd be willing to close the rest. And so we're serving as a really important middle ground to help those small businesses get a leg up.
So if I'm a small business, I need 50 grand. I mean, what you're doing, you say, okay, your platform will organize how we get 25 from your friends and family, things like that, and 25 from these institutions, right?
Correct.
But then when I pay off the loan to my friends and family in the institution, I'm doing it one spot. I go to SOMOLEND and I send a check once a month and you distribute it. And I don't have to worry about all this stuff.
We manage all the payment processing. So what we do is you set up a bank account with us, and then we actually pull that monthly payment from your account once a month, and we manage all those people for you. So you don't have to keep track of all of that.
Oh, well, that's terrific. Now, does everyone get the same rate of interest, or are the financial institution, they want more, and your family and friends want less, and things like that?
Well, no. So the way that our platform works is when you, the small business owner, fill out an application on our platform, you might say, I have an idea, I want $1 million at 2% interest. And we'll say, well, that's not actually what you'd be eligible for on the open market. So we'll tell you, based on your business financials and our basic underwriting, what you could otherwise get on the open market. That's in hopes that you set your expectation at a more realistic level. Once you set your expectation, saying, okay, I'm looking for $50,000 at 5 to 7% interest for a 3-year term. We then market that to your friends, family, community, and our bank partners. Every one of those lenders can choose to either offer you a loan at the rate that you're asking for, at something low, or at something higher. It's up to that lender's discretion. And because it's completely transparent, you can negotiate directly with the lender. So a lender could say, well, Matt, I lend to you at 10% interest, and you can say, you know what, I'll take 8. You can agree on that, and it's actually negotiated between the two parties.
Oh, so then through the platform, I could have different loans at different rates like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh.
You could have 20 different loans with 20 different interest rates.
Yeah. Now, so it's not like Kickstarter where everybody sees this stuff and whatever. It's just it's a closed kind of site or offer or something like that?
Well, so our goal is to eventually be like Kickstarter for low-interest loans. There is a change that's happening in the federal law called the Jobs Act.
Right.
And until the Jobs Act is fully implemented, we are limited to being able to help you with your friends, family, accredited investors, and banks. And so we anticipate rolling out to the general crowd sometime in early 2014.
I see. Okay. So that's another step. Well, that's still cool. And I see that you've been, like in Cincinnati. I mean, you yourself got a grant from Cincinnati to help finance this thing. I mean, there was the Women Minorities grant. Is that right? From the Cincy Tech?
Yep. So we won the Imagineering grant, which is for minority and women-owned businesses, and that was $40,000. But then we ended up raising $2.2 million through the use of our platform from investors.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we are actually, the recipient of our own platform.
Right, wow. And then you won other competitions for business plans for this idea and everything. So you're riding a tiger here going down the street.
Yeah, so Somo Launch is, I think, what you're mentioning is the competitions. We offer Somo Launch competitions once a quarter right now, where we're offering prizes from $1,000 to $5,000 in free cash for the borrower who has the most complete and interesting application, and that's as determined by our panel of judges, which includes our investors.
Yeah.
So we're giving away cash in order to educate small business owners as to how to use a platform like this to raise capital.
I see. No, I was thinking, I saw like you want for your own business plan. Like when I was reading about your Cincy Tech grant, there was other, I think maybe competitions that you were involved in for that business plan that you were very successful at too.
That's true. We competed, I think, in 28 business plan competitions.
Wow.
Over the course of the past 2 years. Yeah.
Well, good for you. I mean, you're really out there doing new things, and this is what this country certainly needs, because the old stuff is getting in trouble. So the ideas like this are wonderful, and you're helping small businesses find that capital. With Obama's been trying a lot to do too, but you're way ahead of him here. So thank you for doing this, and best wishes. And it's so people who are interested, somolend.com, right?
Correct. Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Anything else I missed?
No, thank you so much for the opportunity, and we hope that your viewers will check out the site.
You bet. Thank you, Candace.
Thank you, Matthew.